is joining us now, not only on the River Islands guest line, but also dealing with the bear that is the Los Angeles area freeways, is our guy, the best, our friend, ESPN, Andscape, Marc Spears, joining us here on Willard and Dibbs on 95.7 The Game. Hey, Marc, how we doing?
Well, I don't have any answers for you, but I did find some interesting quotes from LeBron James that really stuck out for me today. And
okay.
I don't know if you guys – I feel like I'm going to be a preacher right now and read some passage, but I think it's a passage that could be music to Bay Area fans' ears.
I love it. Chapter 4, LeBronicus, verse 8. Let's hear it.
Leaning into the microphone right now to listen to what you're about to say, Marc.
Yeah, the Book of James. Right?
Yeah.
So LeBron James today, he spoke with Rich Kleiman at that sports fest or whatever it is in New York, which is a big deal. So I need to give it respect. But so Rich Kleiman asked him about family, and he mentioned how his son is like crazy. It's his former teammate, and his other son is at Arizona. And he said, but my 12-year-old daughter is pulling a lot of weight. He said, so going into my daughter, I was 4th of July, and my daughter came home, and being out with her friends and cousins and everything, I pulled her aside because she's of age, and now, like, anytime I leave, she's like, Daddy, where are you going? She's like, I'm going with you. He said, so he pulled her aside. He said, baby, I'm going to let you know. I want you to hear from nobody else, but I won't be with the Lakers next year. I'll be playing somewhere else, so I won't be home all the time. You may not have an answer right now. You can give me an answer now. You can wait. You can write it down. Just want you to know how you're feeling about it, because you mean a lot to me. Me being away from you means a lot. So the family portion is a big thing too. My daughter and my wife, things of that nature, and I'm a big family guy. There's a lot of things that people are like, hurry up, make a goddamn decision, Brian. Like, okay, it's not about the team, not just about the team. There's a lot of factors I'm factoring in right now and what fits me best as a person, what fits me best, my happiness, and also my family as well. And he talked to Chris Paul about this as well. Reading from the Book of James, because when you look at his options, right, like Philly, how far is that?
Far.
3,000 miles. Yep.
Far.
Like Cleveland is far, but it's home, right? Philly is home. I mean, Cleveland is home. Akron's home. That's home. But if you think about it, and this is like said in all the highest of respect, because I want to talk about his, family in high esteem. Like, his daughter's like middle school, right? Pretty much L.A. is all she's known, right? Wife has been in L.A. They've been there for 8 years. L.A. is a big part of their life. And I don't know if there's like a circumvention of rules or this, that, and the third, or what's against the rules or not. But would it be against the rules for the Warriors to be like, hey, when practice is over, this plane will take you home for dinner, and they'll pick you back up and bring you back in the morning for shoot around? Like, this is the closest thing to home of the option. And so if family is involved, to me, the family box probably points towards, and obviously there's basketball part to another thing, but the daughter and the wife, not speaking for them, I don't know what they're thinking, but the family part would make me think that Golden State has an advantage. And the fact that he talked to Chris Paul also is intriguing to me, because Chris Paul did play a year for the Warriors, and he commuted back and forth, visiting, his family, his wife and kids, 2 kids, who were like middle school kids at the time. And, his family is extremely important to him as well. And he made it work. So I kind of heard in the Warriors camp, people close to the Warriors, that they think he's going out east. And I think in a lot of ways, people believe that Cleveland is the front runner. But I I haven't given up on the Warriors because of the family aspect, and I think today that part got reinforced by what he said to Rich Kleiman.
And that makes a lot of sense when you think about, being 42 and you start to look at your house and he's got 2 kids already gone and his daughter, I think, is about to be 12. And so you got to hold on and cherish these last memories.
Yeah,
and
man.
one thing I was looking at too, Mark, is LeBron's daughter is a volleyball player and Steph's got a couple daughters who play volleyball. So there might be some sort of a match there as well.
Yeah. I mean, but she could, if he's playing in the Bay, she could just keep doing what she's doing.
Yep.
Because daddy will come home, right? And I don't have a daughter. I definitely have a wife. She runs everything. So I could only imagine. Like, I really believe it when he says it's a family decision, especially when it comes to the 2 most important women. And I think his mom lives in Los Angeles, 3 most important women in his life. But his wife's also from Ohio. His mom's from Ohio, and I think that part can be attractive. But if he's at Golden State, nobody really has to change their life around. They could easily just come up in 50 minutes. Because here's the thing I was telling one of my buddies that I laugh about. There's levels, right? There's levels. Everybody's driven by these little tiny airports, right? They ain't for Southwest and they ain't for United. No, they're for the wealthy. All the little tiny airports is for the wealthy. So he could get in his 6-seat super fast plane, fly to Santa Monica, not Burbank or LAX or Long Beach or Ontario. No, he could fly to Santa Monica and land there and be home pretty quickly, probably from there. It's just that there's different levels, but playing for a team in the Bay Area allows you to still, obviously you're not home all the time, and that's kind of the case of his life now, but at least it could leave some semblance of normalcy.
Marc Spears with us on 95.7 The Game. Did I hear you say that you heard from some folks with the Warriors that they think he's going back east?
Yeah, well, I talked to several people in Vegas over the weekend, and they just got there was a sense from talking to these folks that they think he's going out east.
Okay.
I ain't going to believe nothing until it's done, bro.
Right. No, me neither. And
you can't tell me, and this isn't, let me say this very clearly. I'm not sitting here pining for LeBron to come to Golden State. I'm not. I'm just talking about what's available. And I know he's tighter with Draymond than any other player in the league. And Draymond keeps throwing little, crumbs out there for people to decipher. So these guys might be sending voice messages. Draymond's having dinner with them.
He's doing a lot more than that.
You know what I'm saying?
He's leaving the country with him, Mark.
Exactly. Exactly. So the Philly thing is interesting. It's definitely interesting. And I think the Philly thing might have threw a wrench in everything. Because perhaps the Philly like that was like, oh, I didn't think of them as a possible option, but now with Jaylen Brown I do, right? And it seems evident that Philly's an option. I have people telling me he's not going to Cleveland. That's the one place he's not going. Then I have other people saying he's going to Cleveland. And so that part is so basically I'm telling you, I don't know nothing. I'm trying to read the tea leaves. I'm listening to what the Rich Kleiman interview. And inevitably, like, LeBron may not know either. He still might be wrestling with it. But I do think the decision's going to come soon. The World Cup will be over. Once the World Cup's over, and, the attention, the floor will be completely his. But it's shared until Sunday.
Are you hearing anything about a possible documentary of the upcoming season? And if so, how might that play?
It's not a possible documentary. It's been being filmed already.
Right. So taking that in the light, where do you think the most compelling documentary would be?
If I'm not mistaken, Clay's, I don't want to put Clay's uncle out there, but I think he's been working on something with Draymond. With LeBron. Like I said, I thought he started something last season. I had already heard that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's new.
No, I guess I'm reading comments online right now that at this Rich Kleiman event that you've referenced, Mark, LeBron sort of teased the documentary as something to look forward to in retirement life. He's had a doc crew from NBA Entertainment collecting footage for nearly a decade for this.
Yeah. But I think it's even more now. I mean, because of who he is, NBA Entertainment, or, is going to be filming it. But I think it's more behind-the-scenes stuff. Started last year, from what I was told. A last dance, so to speak, that we probably won't see for about 10 years.
Oh, wow. You think it'll be that long until it actually rolls out? So it'll be more of a...
I mean, we gotta figure out when he's done playing. He might be playing for another 8 years. Who knows, right? But it does sound like this won't be the swan song season. It sounds like there's going to, where he's going, it's going to be more than one season. So, but there's some interesting choices. I covered the Cleveland Cavaliers closely, did a Donovan Mitchell diary. I think he'd fit in great there. That's home. He could, join their front court, which is missing a forward. I think that could be a great, final chapter to his story. Obviously, there'd be a super team in Philly. How much will Joel Embiid play? I don't know. If he does play, it's a scary team. And with LeBron, he wouldn't have to carry even, he'd have to carry even less. Some would say that maybe the Warriors option gives you the least chance of winning the whole thing. But with those basketball IQs together, and once Jimmy comes back, or maybe they try to get Anthony Davis. One thing that's interesting about the Anthony Davis part is, I saw Anthony Davis on Friday. He went to Trae Young's press conference. He's been working out with the Wizards. He went to his preseason summer league game. If somebody was a short timer, though, that's not the kind of thing that short timers do.
Right.
And I asked him, I'm like, are you coming back? And, he basically kind of said, it's up to them. We'll see in August. And I know their GM is kind of like, he's doing everything. So you can take that for what it's worth. So I got the sense that their GM has no interest in trading Anthony Davis, but what that's probably going to mean is you better take care of him financially, because come August, when he's eligible, if this doesn't get taken care of, and Rich Paul's coming with the torch,
right?
Trying like, hey, but I can't. At the moment, Washington appears ready to try to be a playoff team. And, so I don't think you never say never, and who knows what August means, right? But everything I saw last Friday in Vegas suggested that Anthony Davis was staying.
Marc Spears with us here.
He didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
He didn't have to be there.
Right. No, I get that. Mark, what about this? Just in listening to you talk about this, it sounds to me like you believe, and your people are telling you, that this is actually a decision and maybe he doesn't know yet. I've had a very hard time believing that. No, the LeBron we know, he knows where he's going right now. And Windhorst and others have said that. Do you believe that he knows right now where he's playing?
I mean, look, Windhorst knows him as well as anybody, right? LeBron's even say that. So I'm not going to act like I've been in LeBron's mind or talking to Rich Paul every day or anything like that. But when you have people, and maybe there's a front runner in your mind, but until you sign the paperwork, like these college kids, right? I might be mentally committed somewhere, but maybe that last pitch might make me feel a little bit differently. Until he actually signs the paperwork, if I'm Joel Embiid, if I'm Tyrese Maxey, if I'm VJ Edgecombe, if I'm Jaylen Brown, and I heard they all met with him, you're in his ear, right? If I'm Draymond, yo, bro, what wine we drinking tonight? What wine we drinking? I'm in New York. I just happen to be in New York, right? And guess what? Steph's with me, and that's his dog, right? So he gonna hang out with LeBron, like until he makes a decision, regardless to what's in his mind. If I'm Draymond, Steph just happens to be in New York right now because of the ESPY. You don't think Steph's trying to talk to him? You don't think Steph could get time with him? Come on, man.
Yeah,
There's some stuff happening. There's got to be some stuff happening behind the scenes. And I just believe that until he signs, don't hate the player, hate the game. Holla, holla, holla.
Yeah. I mean, you don't.
You know what I'm saying?
The game is the game. And, I'm hearing you say that he may sign a one-year deal, then jump in the portal and go somewhere else. But I'm wondering, Mark, what you think is the number one motivating factor he's looking at.
The Bay Area mentality until you choose. I'm hollering. That's how cats do in the Bay, especially in the town,
Yeah. And it'd be a little bit of a full circle moment, right? Because he played for the Soldiers back in the day.
Yeah. It'll be a little bit different, though.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I mean, I do wonder, how much Warriors fans would embrace him. I think being in L.A. the day that he decided to go, LeBron James decided to go, was like, I felt more buzz about Mexico playing in the World Cup that day than I did about him leaving.
Yep.
It was a weird deal for him in Los Angeles because anytime I would ask a Lakers fan about LeBron James, they mentioned Kobe Bryant. And I never heard of a player that anytime you mention them, they would talk about a former player and almost feel like they're cheating on that former player by liking them. And certainly LeBron James could have done a lot more to attach himself to the city of Los Angeles off the court. I think one thing he was robbed of is when they did win a championship, he didn't get a parade. That certainly would have endeared himself to the city. But I would think that at this stage of his career, with what he's accomplished and what it would look like next to Steph, Draymond, a healthy Jimmy, that the Bay, as odd as it might sound, would definitely embrace him at this stage of his career.
I think, Mark, you are beyond right. We're sitting here in these chairs talking to these people every day, and sports radio has its own sort of inherent negative vibe to it sometimes. And so we do hear from people who are like, I don't want LeBron and Steph to team up, but I really think that's a vacuum. And outside in the world, friends, people I run into, listeners, whatnot, I think LeBron to the Bay would be widely, widely accepted and loved.
I mean, and Rich Kleiman was out here. I think, you don't think he and Rich Kleiman talked about it?
Sure.
Rich Kleiman was out here with Kevin Durant, so he knows what it's like and the professionalism of, Lacob and company and how they treat people, and who coached the Olympic team. Steve coached it. So there's certainly some familiarity there. He never got coached by the coach from the Sixers or the coach from the Cavaliers. So I do think that I do think the Warriors have a shot, right? From a basketball standpoint, being in the Western Conference, of the top teams interested, I guess Miami included, I would say Warriors are probably fourth in potential to win a title when you think about Oklahoma City, when you think about San Antonio. Just being realistic, being real, right? But financially off the court, I don't think he'd make more money than putting that uniform on next to Steph. Financially off the court, when you see guys from Apple, billionaires from Apple and, DoorDash and Waymo and Yahoo and all these tech people sitting there, and you don't think the greatest tech giants in the Bay ain't going to want to get next to this man and maybe make him the money up that he's missing this year? That $50 million, you don't think they could make that $50 million up for him?
By opening night.
Let's not even talk about the wine.
Yeah. Well, no, let's talk about the wine.
Going to La Jolla or Cardinal or Verite, like he has the pick of the litter. I actually think he'd have the best time in the Bay.
I agree. I mean,
Miami, like you just lost your starting backcourt, so that's 40 points missing per game. Windhorst said today he thought that was the best place. I'm like, well, who's throwing the ball to him? Who's the backcourt? Davion Mitchell and Tim Hardaway Jr. The Philly thing is scary though. That's a scary team, and I do think if he went to Philly or Cleveland, they would be capable of getting to the finals with that team.